What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about Xbox because it has been an incredibly wild day for Team Green. We just had the Xbox Games Showcase, which was surprisingly fantastic. Lots of new games, release dates, gameplay. It was definitely incredibly jam-packed. I did a separate video talking about that, but after that concluded, the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, has finally decided to speak. He has been silent for the last couple months as we see a bunch of Xbox exclusives going to PlayStation 5, studios being closed, and what seems like a lot of shuffling inside the Xbox ecosystem. So this interview to me was incredibly interesting, but a lot of his answers are quite frankly awful. Let's get into it. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So this is sort of the sentiment I see people saying. It's like, hey, it's great that Xbox decided to put on a good showcase, but let's not forget that they're definitely still screwing over their developers. So the primary question that a lot of people were hoping they would ask did get positioned, but it wasn't a good reply. So Xbox shutting down studios is definitely something that people are concerned about because even if the trailers are great, even if the reveals have been fantastic, Xbox seems to almost pretend they're broke. The fact that they're shutting down studios while also buying studios is something that people are just confused about. So this was part of IGN Live, but the first part people aren't happy about is that it wasn't actually live. This is a transcript of the conversation, but it's pre-taped. Not airing it live is such a cop-out. You pre-recorded it so you can edit out anything that could be taken the wrong way. And a lot of people are saying that the questions themselves are just a bunch of lowballs. Like, you can see here, though, people are asking, ask him why he shut down Tango. There is a specific anger about the shutting down of Tango Gameworks because for years, Xbox has been claiming they want to be bigger in Japan. They want to actually make stuff that Japanese audiences will want to buy an Xbox for, or maybe at least get a Game Pass subscription. And this studio was making bangers. They made the Evil Within series, which, personal favorite of mine, but they also made Hi-Fi Rush, which was award-winning. So this interview was done by Ryan McCaffrey. He's like this guy who's super obsessed with Elon Musk, and he is the primary Xbox guy over at IGN. So he sat down with him and basically was like, oh, what's your favorite game? Stuff like that. He did talk about the fact that we're seeing Doom: The Dark Ages, which looks fantastic, is coming to PlayStation 5 day one. Very strange. I will admit that I'm kind of shocked by that myself. It is funny to see a lot of PlayStation fans are being like, hey, the Xbox showcase was fantastic. How about Sony? How about you actually do a good showcase? But this is the question that everybody is the most pissed about. They asked him directly if he would like to speak about the recent studio closures, and he just said this. The studio closure team, oh God, I'm sorry, I'm so annoyed. The closure of any team is hard. Now is the time to focus on the team and the individuals because it's obviously very hard for them. I've said over and over again that I have to make hard decisions to run a sustainable business. Now, pretty much everybody is instantly mocking this because it's just such a ridiculous statement. Like, oh man, it's so hard to do my job. We love games at Xbox. I went back to my mansion and I cried the whole time. A lot of these people are like, man, what an underwhelming answer, even from Phil Spencer, who does give a lot of ridiculously PR answers. God, it's so hard to be Phil Spencer. Look, yeah, a lot of people are saying that, honestly, that Ryan McCaffrey did not challenge him enough. But I think a lot of people are also bringing up the fact that literally right after that, they asked him about their $70 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard, where Phil Spencer basically says, like, yeah, we did kind of screw that up because we didn't realize how hard it would be to run that, to acquire that, to go through the whole regulatory process and still put stuff out. So he does admit that Xbox did screw up, but it is still weird to just hear, hey, we're shutting down studios. And then also, hey, we have $70 billion sitting in our pocketbook. Pretty much everybody is like, okay, why are you guys buying everything with a price tag and then also shutting down studios? Do one or the other. Why are you buying Double Fine and Tango and Bethesda and Call of Duty and buying all of that while claiming you're too broke to run a tiny studio like Arkane Austin? I think my frustration, and part of the reason I just don't like this answer, is because honestly, it feels like Phil Spencer knows this is a bad response, but he has to give it. I guess my issue is the fact that I want Xbox to be better. I want Xbox to be as great as Nintendo and PlayStation and other studios and stuff are doing, because honestly, the better Xbox does, the more it puts pressure on the rest of the industry. If Xbox is kicking ass, everybody else has to try harder, make better games, hit release dates. Like, let's face it, right now, PlayStation is probably lazier than they have ever been. They do more remakes, they do less games, they do more sequels, more reboots, more remasters. I like playing stuff on my PlayStation, but to say I'm excited about their current slate definitely isn't the case. Like Xbox, at least they're announcing games. My fear is the fact that, honestly, Xbox right now is a huge chunk of the entire game industry. They're like a third of all studios that exist are currently just owned by them. If they start shutting stuff down because they can't afford it or because it's not making as much money as Call of Duty, I think the ramifications of that are going to be catastrophic. But I do see people still just mocking this because this is such a non-answer. I wish he would directly say, hey, we felt like the budget that Tango had in mind was not lining up with our vision. We were trying to make some AA stuff. It got too expensive. The projects weren't coming together and we had to lay some people off. And it's unfortunate. I hate the fact that he wouldn't even give us some specific examples as to what went wrong at the studios that basically greenlights them for closure. Look at this. God, everybody is like, man, look at this. We're not going to get a straight answer ever. I know a lot of folks left that studio and it rendered it pretty divided. So I feel like instead of patching the hole, they demolished the ship. Hopefully the pieces are being distributed elsewhere. Honestly, I'm pretty disgusted we don't have any kind of gaming press interviewing him that would chase him down for such a non-answer. We absolutely have journalists who would not let him run from this question, but they're not the type that will ever let him near him like this IGN reporter. Yeah, this is classic word salad from Phil Spencer. I'm trying to be nice here. I'm trying not to just overly roast them, but this is a bad interview. I think a lot of companies, especially something like IGN or Kotaku or GameSpot or whatever, they get a high level of access. I mean, to be honest, somebody like me is never going to get a one-on-one interview with Phil Spencer. I mean, it's just not going to happen. He is a guy that appears for specific events, for specific people, and normies can never actually get access. So I feel like this was probably pretty much scripted. I bet they actually had like predetermined questions that they were allowed to ask, and these are predetermined answers. And to me, it's just not enough. I wish that we had an ability to actually question these people that are spending the budgets, that are closing the studios, that are making or breaking the games we love most. This answer, I mean, some of his questions about, hey, there's an Xbox handheld, maybe. I don't want to say anything about an Xbox handheld. A lot of his non-answers, honestly, I'm going to say a mean word. It's pathetic. It is pathetic that nobody is actually able to get this guy to answer what the heck happened to Xbox. Okay, I just wanted to get this out of my system. I am still happy about the Xbox Game Showcase being good. I'm still excited for the future of Xbox games, if that stuff was actually legit, if those trailers weren't misleading. But yeah, still not thrilled about this state of Xbox. And the rumor is they're going to be shutting down more studios very soon, which to me is definitely an L. But What do you guys think about this? Are you excited for the future of Xbox? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video and this very sweaty picture of Phil Spencer, tell me in the comments down below. And please keep dreaming. Gosh, that man is dripping. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.